Please welcome Modere Chief Executive Officer, Asma Issa.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today. Later today, I'm actually going to be sharing something very personal to me on what inspired the development of an intuitive new category of products that I'm so proud to stand behind, because for most of your customers, it's going to empower them to feel comfortable in their own bodies. And it's going to empower you to connect with your customers on a level we haven't yet touched. Now, but first, let's just take a look at just how far we've come over the past 5 years since I came on board here at Modere. While we never want to rest on our laurels, it's worth reiterating how incredibly cutting edge our brand has been since day one. Innovation has always been our calling card, bringing you category-defining clean label products backed by the latest technology with the highest quality ingredients, recognized and validated by leading industry experts. 5 years ago, when we launched Liquid BioCell under the Modere brand, it went viral and kickstarted a global trend. But as you know, despite the copycats out there, Liquid BioCell remains in a class all of its own. Nothing compares to multi-patented, award-winning collagen HA matrix technology, the single-source matrix of collagen, hyaluronic acid, and chondroitin sulfate that undergoes a patented, bio-optimized process to create a highly absorbable nutraceutical that's clinically proven to deliver remarkable benefits to joints and skin. Now, customers in 7 markets globally, spanning over 30 countries, have experienced the benefits for themselves. And Liquid BioCell Life is our #1 best-selling product in the North America market. The year after Liquid BioCell launched, we took our signature collagen HA matrix and paired it with science-backed conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA, to introduce Modere Trim. And together, this innovative first-in-the-world combination of technologies transformed the weight management product category and prioritized fat-to-muscle ratio over typical BMI, or body mass index, allowing users to actually step off the scale and effectively help transform their bodies where it really matters. And since its launch, award-winning Trim and the Lean Body System are second only to Liquid BioCell in global sales. And today, someone in the world buys a bottle of Trim every 20 seconds. And in 2019, we further expanded that Liquid BioCell into the beauty space with the launch of Modere Cellproof, our premium skincare line featuring patented cosmetic-grade BioCell Collagen CG. And unlike so many collagen or HA products on the market, Cellproof is clinically proven to deliver visible results. And Modere Cellproof is the new generation of clean beauty with over 2 million products sold to date. Now let's pivot for a moment from our collagen innovations and talk about how we've been redefining nutrition. You know, as gut health and the health of your microbiome became an emerging focus in the health and wellness space, we honed in on the science that labeled the microbiome as your master switch to wellness. And last year, we launched the first ever 3-in-1 microbiome matrix and Axis Prebiotic, a perfectly paired pre, pro, and postbiotic using highly studied strains of gram-positive beneficial bacteria in our trademarked NeuroFlora probiotic complex that go beyond the gut to deliver benefits throughout the entire body, including supporting brain and cognitive health. Axis Prebiotic is still one of the only microbiome formulas on the market that includes revolutionary postbiotics, showing to support most of the overall health benefits and help reinforce a healthy gut lining. And of course, once you've actually helped establish a healthy gut lining and a balanced microbiome, your body is better equipped to maximize the nutrients you feed it. And proper nutrition is crucial to achieving any wellness goal, which is why we introduced a brand new concept, bioceutical nutrition for optimal health, with the launch of Axis OptiPack at SRC last March. Not only are the 4 supplements in OptiPack biologically integrated with research-recommended amounts of crucial nutrients that actually are formulated to work synergistically together to support major body systems, but OptiPack is also biologically integrated with the rest of the Axis line, including Prebiotic and the Phytos. So together, the Axis line actually lays the foundation for optimal health. And these products support major body systems like your digestive, cardiovascular, nervous, immune, skeletal, and endocrine systems. So the question is, where are we innovating from here? So to answer, I want to begin by talking about a natural human experience that nearly half the world's population has in common. And that's a subject everyone's aware of, yet people don't pretend like it exists. It's a meaningful, legitimate issue, yet often, treated as distasteful or unmentionable or not even suitable for polite conversation. Have you guessed what I'm talking about yet? Society has actually built up a big stigma around female bodies, and particularly regarding the menstrual cycle. I think every woman can relate to the anxiety of being caught off guard at the onset of their period, having no pads or tampons on hand. I know I've been in very uncomfortable situations in the past, wrapping a sweater around my waist to hide a blood stain. Having, their opinions ignored and our opinions ignored or dismissed as a consequence of being like too hormonal or at that time of the month. Have you heard that one? As if there's something shameful about their period, even if it's not to blame. So several years ago, around the time, and as you know, everything at Modera that we do is deeply personal and rooted in authentic experiences of what we go through. And I'll tell you that several years ago, at the time that my company was being acquired by Modera, and I was just turning 40 years old, and I was noticing some changes in my body. And at the time, my daughter was going away to university, and so I was traveling a lot, and so I dismissed all these symptoms that I was having as if, must be related to stress, until they actually became impossible to ignore. It was affecting my life. And I was noticing increased dark spots and pigmentation on my skin and face that made me very self-conscious. And I had to be more vigilant about my sun exposure and every time I was out in the sun. And my cycle became unpredictable, sometimes profusely heavy, resulting in, again, more than just a few awkward or highly distrustful, embarrassing moments. It was almost like I was a teenager all over again. But then the severity of my symptoms had led to a doctor prescribing birth control pills at 18 back then. And the pills worked, they mitigated the symptoms by regulating my hormones. And I realized that the changes I began to experience around 40 must have been related to my hormones too, since I stopped, since I had stopped using birth control pills after my divorce, things started to affect me again. And I had to ask, why does no one talk about this? When my mom was going through menopause years ago, she would sweat like crazy, but neither of us really understood what was happening at the time. And I was really young, and she only had a third grade education. And actually, in retrospect, she never discussed anything to do with her body because, as it turns out, it was the cultural and religious stigma around a woman's cycle that can actually be more oppressive than general societal stigma that we all face. In fact, she couldn't even refer to it in its own real terms. It was always a code word that she used to describe it. Anyways, on top of all of that, medical research historically has actually focused almost exclusively on the male body as a universal benchmark, ignoring the unique biology and needs of the female body. Multiplied over generations, these factors have actually led to a general lack of knowledge and access to resources for women to understand and take optimal care of our own bodies, even to this day. The more I researched and the more I began to uncover the ebb and flow of hormones and the intricate role that they play in every aspect of female health throughout your lifetime at very different stages on everything from mood to digestion, stress response, your mental clarity, sleep, weight, bone and heart health, and even more. And even how attractive you appear or may feel on a given day is affected by all of this. Approximately 79% of our U.S. customer base are women. And up to 85% of those women say that they want a female-specific wellness supplement. And as a woman and as a CEO of one of the world's most innovative clean lifestyle brands, I knew what I had to do. Modera's always led the cutting edge of nutrition science, and we're doing it again with the forthcoming launch of a new category of intuitive nutrition designed to empower women to take ownership of their health. And on that note, I'm so excited to finally share with you an exclusive sneak peek at this top secret and category disrupting hormone-free product line on schedule to launch at SRC 2023, and to show you why it has the potential to utterly transform your customers' lives. If you've normalized period cramps, mood swings, hot flashes, or a low sex drive, our new female nutrition line is going to change all of that. And to tell you a little bit more about the science behind hormonal health, I'm really excited and honored today to announce a new member joining the Modere Scientific Advisory Board, Dr. Jane Frederick, a highly renowned board-certified reproductive endocrinologist, obstetrician, gynecologist in Newport Beach, California. Dr. Frederick has over 30 years of experience in women's health and is the medical director of HRC Fertility in Orange County, an affiliate of Keck Medicine at USC, or the University of Southern California. She was just named top doctor of 2022 by the Orange County Medical Association and has been awarded top women's health doctor by Los Angeles Magazine and a top reproductive endocrinologist from US News and World Report. Dr. Frederick specializes in reproductive surgery, IVF, genetic screening of embryos, fertility preservation, and reproductive health. Her expertise actually fills in a very important role on the Modere Scientific Advisory Board, and she brings invaluable insight to this exciting new chapter in female health. Hi, Dr. Frederick. I'm so excited that you're here with us. And you know, I have so much respect for you, and I'll never forget, just to put it into perspective for everyone listening, we are so honored that you're on our Modere Scientific Advisory Board. And I remember going out to dinner with you, because we are neighbors in Newport Beach, California. And we went out to dinner once, and I think like probably 3 different times when someone came into the restaurant, they stopped and they were like, Dr. Frederick. And of course, you probably didn't know who they were because you see so many patients. But they introduce you, they're like, you changed my life 7 years ago, or you know, you helping people have babies and overcome all their issues. And it just made me, I knew what you did was so very important, but you know, it just made me realize that, like, the impact and reach that you have with what you do. So we're so honored that you're on our scientific advisory board on behalf of all of Modere. I wish you a very warm welcome and the start to many years of your contribution to Modere and everything that we're doing here. So I have a number of questions for you. Lots of people have lots on their mind, but you know, particularly, you know, I'm sure in your practice you see so many women who experience PMS symptoms, occasional heavy periods, low libido even, and who actually suffer from menopause with lots of hot flashes and night sweats, kind of like what I was mentioning with even observing it with my own mother. You know, yet we also know someone who breezes right through their menstrual cycle or throughout their menopause without any kind of discomfort. I want to know, what's their secret?
Well, it's easy to chalk period discomfort or menopausal discomfort up to your hormones. But your hormones are merely messengers. They're relaying information that something is out of balance in the body. Your hormones take cues from your internal and external environment, and they signal your body to respond accordingly. Women who breeze through their menstrual cycles and through menopause tend to have healthy habits in these internal and external aspects of their lives. Internally, by focusing on optimal gut health, nutrition, and cellular health. And externally, in terms of stress management and limiting environmental toxins.
Wow. So it sounds like there's just a lot of different factors that affect hormonal health. And how does a woman know if her hormones are really out of balance?
Well, you know, the concept of hormonal balance is a little misleading because our hormones are always constantly fluctuating. For menstruating and perimenopausal women in particular, your hormones change on a daily or weekly basis depending on where you're at in the cycle. Most women can benefit from a female health supplement that targets the various phases of their cycle. Now, there are key indicators we can look for that indicate if your body is out of sync. And women have this fantastic female intuition where you know if something feels off, even if it isn't detectable in a medical sense. You don't need lab work to know if your periods are irregular compared to your unique baseline, or to know if your mood and energy levels aren't what you're used to. If your period is occasionally heavier than normal or more painful than normal, or if you notice breast tenderness and mood swings, it could indicate your estrogen and progesterone are out of sync. If you're in your 40s and 50s, you might start having trouble sleeping, night sweats, hot flashes, vaginal dryness, brain fog, low libido. We associate those normal symptoms with lower estrogen levels. Testosterone levels are very important to female health too. It's not something most women realize they have, but testosterone changes can manifest in irregular menstrual cycles, increased body and facial hair, skin congestion, weight gain, energy levels, and changes in your sex drive.
Wow. So I think a lot of women, don't understand the role of, what our hormones do, the role that they play, or even what hormones we have, right? So beyond the typical ones that we've all heard of, like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, are there any other hormones that we should be aware of that really affect the female health in particular?
Yes, we have over 50 hormones in our bodies. When it comes to how they communicate with each other and make you feel on a daily basis, there are several pathways or axes to consider. The ovary-brain axis primarily regulates sex hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, but it's not the only axis that plays a role in overall hormone balance. The gut-brain axis is essential to dopamine and serotonin, which affect your mood. The adrenal brain axis is responsible for your sleep cycle and stress response, as it regulates cortisol, adrenaline, and insulin. And for women, the thyroid brain axis plays a big role in menstruation and menopause, with the various thyroid hormones that impact energy, metabolism, and cognitive function, as well as the appearance of your hair, skin, and nails.
Wow. And I noticed you mentioned cortisol. So when I turned 40, it took me a minute to actually figure out what my body was all of a sudden kind of going haywire and what it was going through. And I blamed it on stress of like sending my daughter off to college at the time, combined with so much travel that I was doing while running a company and overseeing the acquisition of my company too at the time. I feel like a lot of women go through this medical gaslighting where our symptoms are actually blamed on stress. So how much truth, and what is that, a myth or not, is there, connecting stress and hormones?
Cortisol plays a big role. Your body creates cortisol in response to stress. If you feel like you're burned out or overwhelmed, or you notice occasional anxiety or trouble sleeping, it can indicate your cortisol or stress hormones are kind of stuck in the on position. You might notice you're craving more comfort foods, or you're having more mood swings and PMS symptoms. When women report low libido, we often chalk it up to stress, and there actually is quite a bit of scientific evidence that cortisol and sex drive are linked. For menopausal women, there's a scientific link between cortisol levels and bone and cardiovascular health. So there is a definite connection between cortisol and women's health. That said, you should never downplay the effect of stress on your health or be made to feel like it's all in your head. One of the features I love about this new product line that Modere is launching is that it incorporates ingredients highly studied for their effects on occasional stress and anxiety.
Wow. A lot of women's health supplements, particularly those that target menopausal women, include soy isoflavones, which are marketed as plant-based alternatives to hormones. From a medical standpoint, what does that mean, and are they safer?
So when we talk about supplementing with hormones, we're usually referring to hormone replacement therapy. For some women with certain diagnosable hormone deficiencies, hormone replacement therapy may be beneficial, but this should always be done under the supervision of your doctor and typically isn't the first course of action for most women. Hormones like estrogen and progesterone aren't used in dietary supplements. There's something that would be medically prescribed. Soy isoflavones, on the other hand, are permitted by the FDA in supplements. I think a lot of women perceive them as being safer than hormones because they're allowed by the FDA, but that's not necessarily the case. They can act like estrogen in your body and have the potential to really throw your hormones out of balance, especially if you aren't under a supervision of your doctor.
So a feature that sets our new line apart, which I'm so excited about, by the way, from other supplements marketed to women, is that it's hormone-free. It doesn't contain soy isoflavones, and of course, it doesn't contain hormones not permitted by the FDA. Can you talk a bit more about how it works to promote hormone health without the use of hormones?
What this new line does is it optimizes your hormone health by supporting your body's natural state of balance and takes a more intuitive approach that yields excellent results for women. The Modere Women's Health line is based on research that studies how your body's amino acids, lipids, vitamins, minerals, and more fluctuate throughout your menstrual cycle and change in the menopause. Normal menstrual and menopausal discomfort can be linked to changes in 67 different biochemical markers. So, when we support the body with supplements that help make these levels more consistent throughout your cycle, we can improve overall well-being and hormone balance without directly acting on your hormones. Remember our example earlier of women who breeze through their menstrual cycles and menopause? They're more likely getting the right kind of nutritional support to keep these biochemical markers at more consistent levels day to day. These amino acids, lipids, and more affect the same axes or pathways as your hormones, the ovary-brain axis, gut-brain axis. So when we focus on supplements that support cellular, gut, and digestive health, as well as sleep and stress, we can help bring your body into optimal state without directly acting on your hormones. The female body is amazing. I've been in practice for the last 30 years, and I have been studying the female body for so much in my practice that it's when all the body system are working together in harmony, you shouldn't be experiencing the uncomfortable symptoms we associate with normal periods, PMS, and menopause. And this exciting new line coming to Modere really empowers you to feel your best and love your body.
Thank you so much, Dr. Frederick, for lending your time and expertise in helping us understand a little bit more about hormone health. We are so very honored to welcome you to the Scientific Advisory Board.
Thanks, Ozma. It was a pleasure talking with you and discussing this revolutionary new forthcoming product line.
Well, Dr. Frederick will join us again in March at SRC, where she'll lead an in-depth training on our new line. But now, let's go to North America General Manager Justin Serra to find out what you need to know about the launch plan and how to leverage this exclusive innovation to propel your business into 2023.